Now from the Euros and that semi-final tie between England and Netherlands on Wednesday night in Dortmund, let's now head to Amsterdam, speak live to Dutch football expert Marcel van der Kraan. There he is. Marcel, very good afternoon to you. How much excitement is there about this game, and how many Dutch supporters are we expecting to make what is a very short trip to Dortmund?
Exactly, and that makes it very easy for all the Dutch, any football fan who wants to take part in all this joy with the Dutch team to hop over the border. I think we're expecting between 80 and 85,000 Dutch fans, which is the biggest invasion ever. You know, the Orange March, which we can see here, going from left to right, the new theme, the new song in this Euros has become absolutely huge. Every town has been turned upside down with this orange crowd, all following the big open top double-decker bus going to the stadium. You know, 40, 50,000 so far. Dortmund is preparing to host these, but they don't know how yet because they only have fan zones for 25,000, 30,000 maybe. And Holland alone will bring 80, 85,000. And there's a fear that the beer will run out because I think with being 40,000 English fans there and the Dutch, they all like a drink. It would mean that they will probably consume 1.2 million beers on that day itself.
And that will be just you, Marcel, which is good going. You're at the England game against Switzerland. So how is Gareth Southgate's team and their style of play viewed in the Netherlands?
Well, we've just had the press conference with Dutch boys, Cody Gakpo and Mickey van der Ven, both, you know, based in England, of course, one with Tottenham Hotspur, the other one with Liverpool. They have been following the newspapers, and I think every Dutch fan is feeling the same. This is a team we can beat because the football Gareth Southgate has been playing in the eyes of the Dutch is boring. And whoever you speak to, nobody's impressed so far. And I always think, you know, as a follower of the Dutch team, that's sometimes our downfall when we get too carried away. We've been in tournaments where we thought, oh, we're going to win this, we're going to do this. But England is also hard to beat, which I saw with my own eyes against Switzerland.
Yeah, talking of Cody Gakpo, Netherlands have scored 9 goals in their 5 games, 3 of those coming from the Liverpool player. He is in amazing form. What's that down to?
Well, I think he is actually really picking the fruit of working under Jurgen Klopp. His game was always good, was decent. He was Footballer of the Year in the Netherlands, but that's only in the Netherlands. Now he's gone to Liverpool. He's been playing there 1.5 years. Under Klopp, he's become physically stronger. He's got more pace. He understands the English game, and he's really looking forward to playing against all the English boys who he knows. He explained that to us just now. But it's really interesting that he could have had 4 goals, actually, because the last goal he scored for Holland was not given to him because there was a little foot of a toe from the Turkish defender there. But otherwise, he would have been top scorer already of this tournament so far. But he's in great form, and thank God he is, because Memphis Depay, who never really made it in England, is not delivering at this moment. And on the right, we have a bit of a worry. So it's tough still up front, and we need them in their best form against England.
Yeah, he certainly wheeled away as if he'd scored it, hadn't he? And celebrated if he didn't. Why not? Right, Virgil van Dijk, let's talk about him. Played every minute of the Netherlands' 5 games at this Euros. How crucial has his contribution, but also keyly his leadership been?
Well, spot on what you just said there about the leadership. Virgil is the big orchestrator of the Dutch team. He is in charge of everything in the dressing room, on the pitch, off the pitch. He's very vocal. We all heard during COVID how vocal he was when there was a match of Holland played in an empty stadium in Rotterdam. And nobody could believe how much he was instrumenting to his players, how he was making everything clear. And in this dressing room now, he's also the one who calms people down. After the game, immediately after we beat the Turks, everybody was in euphoria. People thought we were almost, European champions. And Virgil came in front of a camera and he says, "Calm down, boys. We've got England. Work on that. No party, no festivities here. I like it that the Dutch crowd is behind us, but we have to give them something really, really extra." in the next game, because it's a hell of a job what we've got to face.
Yeah. Ronald Koeman at the helm is aiming to become only the second man to win the Euros as both a player and a manager. This second stint as manager, how's that being viewed in the Netherlands?
A lot better. Ronald is close to the players, but he's always got a bit of authority. Koeman is calm, he's experienced, he's coached every top club in the Netherlands, he's been coaching England, he's been a coach of Barcelona, and maybe this is where there is a bit of hidden motivation underneath for Ronald Koeman in this next semi-final. Because if he goes through, he could be playing Spain in the final. And we all know that he's still bitter about the way things went at Barcelona. He was sacked there. He couldn't finish what he wanted to finish. He had a difficult time during COVID. Barcelona had financial problems. And he felt that he was never given the chance in Spain to really show what he's capable of. So for him, there is a massive, massive motivation to stop England going through. And we all know he's done it before.
Yes, I mean, talking about still being bitter, 31 years or so ago, back in 1993, Koeman scored the goal that ended England's hopes of reaching the World Cup in I think the only way you can call it is a controversial qualifier. Will that match be a talking point around this fixture?
Well, it already is. I think Koeman's having a little coffee with some of the Dutch media today, and it will be raised there because everybody's like rubbing their hands. Oh, Ronald, how do you look back on this? And I know from talking to him before that he's always put a bit of a smile on his face because he knows that he escaped on that night in the Rotterdam Stadium, the Kuip. Graham Taylor shouting from the touchline, "Do I not like that?" when Koeman made the big foul. He should have been sent off. And a few minutes later, he took that famous free kick and blasted Holland to the World Cup in '94. So, yes, it is something that is always carrying along with Ronald. And I think if he could do it now as a coach, he's done many things twice, as a player and as a coach, winning things, stopping big teams. He would look forward to do it again.
Yeah, unfortunately, he wasn't in the Dutch side that lost 4-1 at the Euros, was he? That was in '96. Away from the Euros, Ruud van Nistelrooy looks as if he's going to join Erik ten Hag's backroom staff. What will he bring as a coach following his spell with PSV Eindhoven?
Well, I'm actually quite surprised he's taking this role because he was already in the Netherlands, classed as a perfect manager, a good head coach of PSV Eindhoven. He was very successful with them. He guided them to a cup, to a Charity Shield trophy, and to the Champions League with a budget which was very limited. He worked with a lot of young players. He worked with Cody Gakpo. I think Cody Gakpo is still very grateful for everything Ruud van Nistelrooy taught him. And I think it would be a great contribution, especially for the players, being close to the players at Man United. And maybe also a little bit of a shield for Erik ten Hag, because Ruud's popular. Ten Hag has to prove something right now again. And I hope that Ruud will be given enough space to demonstrate his own skills as a coach on that training ground, because it could be very vital for the next few months and the start Man United are going to have. But I find him a good coach, and I am hopeful that he will do really well for United fans.
Yeah, and that Dutch contingent at United could be expanding. They could be signing a couple of players from the squad, Matthijs de Ligt and Joshua Zirkzee. What have you got to say about that? Smart signings?
Zirkzee is actually the striker who most people in the Netherlands want to play as a striker rather than Memphis Depay. So people are very impressed with what he's done in the Serie A at Bologna. We see him here in action, and he has been very impressive, scoring goals. He's athletic, he's fast, he has good shot. He's ready for the next step. He doesn't want to say too much about it in the Dutch camp yet, because it would look to Ronald Koeman that he's got his eyes on other things rather than the Dutch team. And he's actually, really eager, bursting on the scene of the Euro semi-final. And I do think we will see him at some stage in the second half or later parts of this game, if it maybe goes to extra time, like Koeman did in the game here before. He's very exciting, and I think there's another one maybe who is also in the frame. Matthijs de Ligt, the Bayern Munich defender, also keen on a move to Bayern, from Bayern to Man United. He's a player at 19 when he guided, together with Ten Hag, Ajax to the semi-final of the Champions League. And he's had a really impressive second half of the season with Bayern Munich. The fans have started a petition signing with thousands that he should be staying at Bayern Munich and they should not sell him. So very interesting to see what's going to happen in the next week or so after the tournament.